All right, friends and lifelong learners, you ready to edit? You've already imported, so here's your next step. Let's start editing. You know how to launch Adobe Premiere, right? We're going to look for the Premiere square, purple square, anywhere here, anywhere there, and we're going to launch. Okay, so you should have a shortcut from the other day, which I do, so you don't have to do new project or open project. So we're going to use our shortcut from an hour ago, and we're going to click on it. We're going to open the project. So here's all the footage that we were using from uh, an hour ago that we imported, okay, on the innovation station. And we're going to start to edit. We don't know what any of these other boxes do, these sections of the screen, but we're going to find out real quickly what they do. So I'm going to start with my first clip, which is over here, which is my introduction. And here's Mr. Greenwald doing the introduction. I'm going to double click it. It loads up into the next window. This window is called the source window. See, it says source, and we can, this is where all the editing happens. Now, when you have a clip that's based on dialogue, when someone is speaking, you're going to determine where it starts and where it stops based on dialogue, which is basically the beginning of a sentence and the end of a sentence. And you're going to edit the rest of it out. So we can press play here. Welcome to WMS TV. Today we're asking people on their thoughts about the recently installed. Or you can press the space bar. Try hitting the space bar right now, because the space bar does the same thing. It'll start and stop your clip. Okay, so what's the beginning of the sentence? How does he start it? It's hi. So I'm going to take my mouse and I'm going to drag this locator, because I'm in the middle of his statement, and I'm going to drag it back to the top. See me dragging it? And I'm going to wait for him to say hi, and I'm going to slap the space bar to stop as soon as I hear him say, hi, I'm John Greenwald. There we go. Now I'm going to drag it back, and you should hear the audio going also. You might not hear it in the video in this demo, but you should hear the audio scrubbing back also. But right before he says it, and I'm going to use the arrows. If you look to the right of the space bar, you're going to see these left and right arrows and up and down arrows. Use those arrows to get really close right before he says something. Now, all you need to know about this interface, there's a lot of buttons here, is these two buttons, the mark in button and the mark out button. So I'm going to tell the computer this is where I want this clip to start. Mark in. Notice how everything just got dark here, highlighted, and I'm starting the clip right here, a little bit before the clip starts. Now I can literally go towards the end, and I can drag my locator, and I can wait for my out point, the end of his sentence. So, innovation station is the end of his sentence. So I'll hit the space bar when he says station. Thoughts about the recently installed innovation station. There we go. Maybe I jog it forward a little bit, arrow it forward a little bit, and I'm going to mark an out point. And that's it. Your in point, set in, mark in, and mark out. This clip is ready to be put into the workspace, which is called the timeline. So all I do is take the mouse, press down on the mouse, and this arrow turns into a hand, and I'm dragging it and I'm dropping it. Bam, there we go. Okay, and this is my workspace, and all of a sudden this monitor lights up, and this monitor is showing me what's in my workspace, my timeline workspace. It's different from here because it's in a different location. As you can see, his mouth is open, he's speaking, and here he just finished speaking. So this screen is mirroring what's in this space, and this screen is mirroring what I just used from the original clip. So here is the clip. Hi, I'm Stephen Greenwald. Welcome to WMS TV. Today we're asking people on their thoughts about the recently installed innovation station. There we go. So it's perfect. It starts from the beginning of his statement and ends at the end of his statement. Okay, that's based on dialogue. So let's get another dialogue shot and let's hear from Mrs. Del Piano. So I'm going to choose this one. I'm going to double click it. It loads up into the source window. My locator's in the middle, so I'm going to drag it all the way to the top, press the space bar or the play button, and hear where it starts.
How do you feel the Innovation Station has benefited your students?
So, what's the end point? If the end point is Philip saying the question, how do you feel? So I'm going to drag the locator bar right before he speaks and how do you feel? And I'll jog it back right before his mouth is closed too. And I'm going to mark an end point. And I can play it from there too.
How do you feel the Innovation Station has benefited your students?
It was our first time in the Innovation Station today, but I think that it's definitely helping with giving them more ways to work collaboratively, but also giving them more access to technology like the green screen room to be able to show their knowledge in different and more exciting ways.
What's the out point? Miss Del Piano said her period says more exciting ways. That's the end of her sentence where the period would go.
More exciting ways.
And then she smiles a little bit. So let's hang on that smile a little bit and we use the left arrow on the keyboard to show her smiling a little bit and we mark an out. You see how I'm marking out. Now I'm going to take my mouse, I'm going to drag and I'm going to drop it and I'm going to put it onto the previous clip right up against it. You're going to feel this magnetism. It will stick to the back of the outgoing clip and there'll be a seal there and it'll flow. It'll cut to one clip to the other. So let's watch it.
We're asking people on their thoughts about the recently installed Innovation Station.
How do you feel the Innovation Station has benefited your students?
Okay, there you go. It was a nice edit.
The installed Innovation Station.
How do you feel the
And that's what your edit should look like. Really clean and then they should flow. So there are other instances where we're not doing dialogue, that we're showing things like B-roll footage. So we can click on something and we can show something. There's no real edit point here, so we're just going to show the chair for a little bit. So we'll mark an in and an out, and we'll drag the seat on here. Okay. And then maybe we'll do another shot. Let's see if this one has an endpoint. It does, because we can base it on action. All right, we spoke about basing edit points on dialogue. We can base this one on action. Well, what kind of action is going on? The camera is about to move. It doesn't start moving until we get right here. So we can start it on what we call a camera pan. So I'll start it on the move right there. And what should I end it on? Maybe I should end it right after the move ends. So it's like right there. And I'll mark it out. So you can base footage, edit points of B-roll footage on action. So this one doesn't have anything, but you're showing a cool chair. And this one starts right on the pan. And there you go. So I'm making a kind of like a mini montage of students working in the innovation station. Okay? Maybe this one starts right before this screen comes down. This picture comes down off the screen. That's based on action. And I'll start it right there, and then there's the screen drops on. The picture drops onto the screen, and he's doing things. And then maybe the plane, when the plane comes off. Notice the plane comes off? Maybe I cut it right from there. That's my out point. And I drag and I drop. And now I've got this cool little montage of, hey, what does the innovation station look like? And I could put music to this montage later on too. Okay? So this is how you edit, put basic edits in. You can base it on dialogue.
Installed Innovation Station.
How do you feel the Innovation Station has benefited?
And you can base it on, most of the time, on action. This camera movement. And then the screen, the picture drops down there, and then the plane flies off. So give it a whirl. By the way, Control Z is your best friend. It's an undo move, just like Microsoft. So if you make a mistake, you can Control Z a bunch of times. All right? Best of luck. You need help? I'll be here